Go to the next slide, which you have there. I want to just talk about data for a second. Data is a four-letter word for a reason. Data is the problem in marketing metrics. And it's not just about the input stuff. And I talk about the 4 Ps and the 3 Cs and the 1 Es. But really, one of the hardest things for us to measure are valuable and meaningful outcomes. You know, whether it's revenue, if we're selling through the channel, how do we get the numbers for revenue? How do we get the units or leads in a B2B, in a business-to-business environment? Or maybe it's engagement in social media. And so that's really, from a metrics perspective, that's really where we need to focus a lot of our efforts, is on the outcomes. The input side, I call it the 4P3C, product, price, place, and promotion. Simple to remember. I think we probably all learned that when we were getting first into marketing. The 3 Cs are kind of mentioned on the next slide in terms of the competition, the channel, and consumers. I'm going to go a little bit faster here. But as we saw with that Denny's commercial, what the competition does significantly influences what we're doing. And, and that's pretty important. The last slide here is on the 1E I call the external factors. It's kind of fascinating. We're doing some work right now for a brewery in Malaysia. They sell a Dutch branded beer, and it was mentioned they sell Heineken and a couple of other brands. And one of the things that they found was during the World Cup, the sales of beer, as you would expect, would go up, but they didn't expect them to go up as high as they did. And one of the things that was kind of interesting is if you look at the time zone of when the games were played in South Africa and then Malaysia being 5 or 6 hours ahead of that, what it meant was the games are being played very late at night. I think it was 10:30 at night and then 2:30 at night in the morning. And what that meant was that people were out in the bars staying a lot later. Well, what are they going to do in the bars? They're going to drink beer. And, so here you have this kind of a perfect storm of things coming together in terms of being able to really drive or take advantage of an event, like the World Cup to look at increased sales. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit now. I'm going to move over to a couple of slides. And I don't know if you're going to be able to, Renee, click on this link there. Did you guys find out if you had internet access? But anyway, if you'd go to the measuring social media slide, which I think you have up there, we talked when we were writing our book, The ROI of Social Media, we talked to this guy, Tom Dixon. That's the gentleman that you see there. And how many of you heard of Will It Blend or the Blendtec blenders and blending the iPhone? So about 5 or 10, looks like quite a few of you. Fantastic. Well, when we were talking to him, he hired a new vice president of marketing. He says, hey, we have no money, but we need to get our message out. And what we want to do is basically they had $50 in their budget, and he said, what can you do? So they went out and they bought a video camera. They took one of their blenders and they blended an iPhone. And that video, the last time I looked, had about 9 million views. They have now done a series of, and I think it's, 70 or 80 different videos of blending different stuff. I mean, you name it, they've blended it. And and here, they're kind of taunting whether they would blend an iPad as opposed to an iPhone. They have now had over 200 million views of these videos, and they're kind of corny. But they were the number 5 blender worldwide manufacturer, and now they're the number 1 worldwide manufacturer of blenders. Based simply on a $50 investment relatively, putting out some YouTube videos, an incredible success story. And this Tom Dixon, really just phenomenal. Now, I will admit, this is kind of a viral video, and, it's kind of hard to look at viral and things like that. But let's talk about what are the key drivers in social media. Who are the key actors in social media? Well, certainly we have us, so we're individuals. We certainly have influencers, and we have consumers. And so some of us are sometimes individuals. We're either consumers in the category, and we may even be influencers in the category. It turns out for Blendtec, the biggest influencer is not who you'd think. And one of the things that was surprising when we were talking to him, he said the biggest influencer for Blendtec sales is kids. The kids have all seen this video, And when the mom goes out shopping for a new blender, they say, "Mom, you got to get this one. It's the best one. It's the best blender out there," for whatever reason, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why it's great. The kids are acting as the influencer. And so one of the things that we talk about then are the three personas, the three types of people in social media. And influencers are one, individuals, and then the last one is consumers. And when we think about our marketing and how our marketing has to drive the success of our sales and what have you, then we need to come up with strategies that are targeted specifically towards influencers, different strategies towards individuals, and different strategies towards consumers. And just one quick thing on influencers, for example, you think about, well, how can I get influencers to, what am I competing against when I talk to an influencer and I want them to write about my product? Well, we're competing against other products. One of the biggest influencer groups out there is mommy bloggers. And there's mommy bloggers blogging about diapers and baby formula and what have you. And so if we wanted to launch and get somebody to write about blenders, we have to compete against diapers and some of these other brands in order to get those endorsements that we want from those influencers. Okay, with that, I'm going to one real quick sentence here on the last slide 18 on the next slide, Renee. And that is, ROI, when we typically think about, you have to go to slide 18. And typically, when we think about ROI measures the past. We're almost at the last slide there. Yeah, there you go. And ROI is the past. But what we want to do is we want to get ROI in the future. So we can't just look in the rear view mirror. We have to use ROI to help us make better decisions in